Welcome everybody to today's webinar. We're very excited to have you here. Today's topic is how to generate a surge of listings from one open house. To get the most from today's webinar, we want you to take really good notes, and we want you to use that Q&A panel there to ask any questions you might have. We're going to take those at the end though, so don't stress if we don't get to them right away.
Yeah, by the way, I do want to say something, Julie. So when you guys write your question, you won't see it pop up on the screen because it goes into a holding place that so don't think that we didn't see your question, okay? So when you do write it. So you should write your questions during the webinar. Go ahead.
Excellent. To reach us at any time after the webinar today, you can reach us on all social media channels at Darryl Speaks is our handle. Darryl is the author of 3 books, all published by McGraw-Hill Publishers. That first one you see there, How to Become a Power Agent in Real Estate, is actually one of the best-selling books on Amazon to real estate agents. Darryl was named this year by Risk Media Magazine as one of the top real estate newsmakers in the Big-Hearted and Brave category. He's also the recipient of the coveted CSP designation, which is only given to less than 2% of speakers worldwide. On that note, the host with the most, Coach Darryl Davis, take it away.
All right, thanks, Julie. So we have some new people on this webinar. So the question I do want to address right up front is: this webinar a sales pitch? No, it's not. But I want to be clear though. There are this is part of a weekly training program that we do for our members. They're called Power Agents. So some of you on this call are students, are Power Agents. And then there's some of you that are guests. So we welcome the guests. We're so glad you're here. You're going to get a tremendous amount of value. But the reason why I start off that way is because from time to time, because this is for our Power Agents, I'm going to be talking directly to the Power Agents. But again, you're going to get a tremendous amount of value. For those of you that aren't Power Agents, just so I can distinguish what that is, just for 30 seconds, it's our monthly membership coaching and training program that because we kept the price at $47 during this pandemic time because people need it. The good thing is if you're a guest, if you want to check it out and kick the tires at the end, you can do that. It's only $5 for 30 days. You have complete access to everything, and you can cancel anytime. So there's no long-term contract. You can cancel during the trial. You can cancel after the trial, anytime. And you get actually some tremendous bonuses today. So everything that you see on the screen, if you decide you want to become a Power Agent, just for even a week, for $5, you get to keep everything that's on the screen. And I'll talk more about what these items are later. Right now, I do want to talk to the Power Agents for a second on a couple of things, and then we're going to get into this topic. Power Agents, what we've noticed is that the market is starting to shift in certain parts of the country. So what we did is we put this little graphic together for you showing how the market is maybe shifting from a seller's market to more of a balanced market. And so you may want to use this on listing appointments or in negotiations. So that way, if the homeowner still thinks they're in the best market for them, that they should consider being more aggressive on their pricing before the market changes against them. That's the first thing. And by the way, Power Agents, I posted this in the closed Facebook group for you a few days ago. So that's where you'll find it. The second thing that I want to share, Carol Brown, one of the Power Agents, she posted this in the Facebook closed group. And I am going to read this really quick. I would like to thank Power Agent Regina McCann for finding me in the directory and sending me a referral. I could not dream of a better scenario. The buyer called, we emailed back and forth. She came, she looked, she bought. It closed already June 22nd. My point here is, gang, Power Agents, you have this directory that is like free as part of being a Power Agent. And we are seeing more and more Power Agents refer business back and forth and making money just from that Power Program directory. So when you go to the directory and you're logged in, you will see it looks like this. If you click at the top, it says update my profile. In that profile is where you upload your photo and fill out these fields. And the field that I want you to pay attention to is areas served. So every area that you work, type it in there. There's no restriction in that field. So if somebody types in, I'm looking for a Power Agent in Philadelphia, you know, Aaron would show up because he put Philadelphia County, right? So anyway, all right, let's get into this topic. Now, everybody take a deep breath And let's get into this topic. There is so much that I'm going to give you, and I do want to preface on a couple of things. Is number one, what I'm teaching you right now, some of my power agents know this, that we've been looking to possibly buy a new home, my family. So we've been going to open houses the past several weeks. And because of that experience as a buyer, I've created some new techniques that I think are really, I'm very proud of to share with you. This webinar, I'm going to cover the 4 P's. And the P's are preparation to the open house, promotion of the open house, presentation of the open house, meaning the day of, and then there's post open house. So let me go through each one of these, first starting with preparation. So here's some thoughts and ideas. Oh, here's one other thing I want to say to you, gang. You do not have to do everything I'm going to teach you because it's so much. What you should do is implement just a few of these. Like each open house that you do, implement, keep adding and keep improving based on this big thing that I'm giving you here. One of the things that we created for the power agents is a simple open house checklist. You'll see it says prepare, promote. So essentially this next hour, I'm going to be teaching from this little checklist that you guys can have to help you stay focused and doing those things. First of all, when it comes to doing an open house, consider, here's a criteria I want you to think about to consider, okay? One is if it's new to the market. You know, a lot of the buyers that are actively looking, they keep looking every day, checking, and they're looking for new properties. If they're using Realtor.com or Zillow, there's a feature where it will actually give a notice to the buyer saying, hey, the search parameters that you've set up, a new listings come out. So you're going to get more eyeballs on a new listing. Second is try and avoid try and do a non-gated neighborhood. Okay. Now, if you have a new listing, you should always do an open house on every listing. But if you're looking to do a open house right now and you don't have a listing, maybe ask an agent in your office, hey, do you mind if I run an open house on your listing? And what I'll do is I'll give you 10% referral on any lead that I get from, whether it's a listing or a sale, from that open house. A lot of listing agents would be happy for you to do it. If they're not doing it and it's a way to service that seller, get that property sold, they're a team member in your office, they should be more than happy to do that. So if you're looking to do an open house on a listing you don't have, try to do one that isn't gated because it just makes it more complicated to get people in there. Third thing is something that's close to a major street, a visible location, because every open house is not about selling the house, gang. Listen to me. It's about promoting you. I'm going to say that again. Every open house is about promoting you, to promote you. Right. One of the people that was looking at my site says, Darryl, there's a lot here about doing open houses. Where's the listing part? How do you get listing from an open house? It's promoting you, having people know your name, face, what you do for a living in the marketplace. So we're using the open house to promote you, to attract sellers and buyers, of course. Also, if you have a listing that's going to sell quick, like it's priced to sell, like you almost think you don't need an open house, those are the best. Why? Because you're going to have a line out the door. And that's what we want to try and do, is have a line out the door. You'll see why in a minute. Another thing on the preparation, I already said this, pay a 10% referral fee to an agent in your office if they're going to let you do an open house on their listing. I just picked 10%. I don't give it's 10 or 20. You decide, negotiate it with the agent, but pay the agent something for letting them use their listing as a platform to generate business for yourself. Use the open house as an opportunity to stage photos and update your listings. And this is powerful. Sometimes agents, they have these listings, right? And they'll come to us and they'll say, Darryl, I got a listing. When I ring the doorbell, goes woof, woof. How do you tell the homeowner in a nice way, you need to clean up this joint? Using the open house is a great excuse. Because now you're not telling them your house, like every open house, you should do a little cleaning up. If we're going to clean that up, this is where you can now retake some photos of some of the bad photos that are on the MLS and swap them out. One of the things that you could do, power agents, we created a home staging checklist to give to your sellers, saying, here's the things that you can do that are simple and easy to help stage your home for this open house. I probably talk 10 minutes just about how to stage a property. We don't have time. Also, you might have a seller that says, you know what, I want to do some repairs. What should we do? Here's a list of just simple, quick repairs to do before an open house that doesn't cost a lot of money. Power agents, I'm talking to power agents for a second. When you guys go to the classroom of the Power Program website, there is a tab, everything's alphabetical. One of the tabs is servicing sellers. A lot of today's content is in the servicing sellers. It's also in the buyer tab too. Those are the two major tabs. I'm going to say it again, power agents, servicing listings and buyers. Those two tabs, a lot of that you're seeing today on the screen is in those two tabs. Oh, this is big. This is huge. Pay attention. It's so simple to do. Schedule your open house before or after other common open houses. Meaning, like I experienced this, like there was a bunch of houses we wanted to see, but one's over here, one's over here. They're both 12. Like I'm not going to make it I'm going to miss one because of it seemed like everybody wants to do open houses at the same time. So if in your area, people are doing 12 to 2, then you do 10 to 2, right? Or noon to 4. That's the other thing. In a hot sellers market, which is what we're still in, consider longer times than the traditional 2 hours. Meaning, I saw an open house was 90 minutes. Why would you do that? It's not about selling the house. It's about collecting and gathering people. You know, commit the time, 4 hours, man. You're going to get more people in that time frame because you're giving people more of an option. The whole point of this is to generate leads. Don't do it doesn't make sense. We're generating leads. More time is better, not less. All right. So proper signing is paramount. What you want to do, you know, I was seeing there's more and more of my colleagues that are starting to teach this. Let me tell you something. I've been in this business for over 30 years. It's a long time. And one of the things that we did in my company, and I'm going to show you a picture. This is a Polaroid photo. The young kids don't know what I just came out of my mouth. Polaroid. You know who you are, the older people. I scanned this photo in. This is why it looks as black and white. Come on now. This is funny. I'm showing my age. This over here is Liz, one of my agents in the office I managed. At the top, here's what it is. A big poster board. She's got a stapler in her hand. You can't tell. It's a staple hammer. They make staplers that are like a hammer. And it has 3 elements on it. It says the company name was pre-printed. It said open house big. And then there was the address that we would staple on. I'm going to show you a better picture because I did one more recently just because it's hard to see this. But this is, all right, let me show you the other one. This is a version of it. You'll see the address is on white white paper. And then you got the fluorescent arrows. Now, let me just show you something here. What we did, our office policy was this. Every open house should have a minimum of 10 of these out on the street. Do you see the cars driving down the street? The idea is it drags people into your house. That's one of the benefits of it. And I'm going to tell you something. Our open houses, when people in my day, when people got like 5 or 6, we would get like 20, 30. And part of it is because the signs would drag people in, you see. The fluorescent arrow. Now, here's how you do it. You hang it high because when you're a half a mile down the road, it's eye level. So you've got to hang it high, not hang it low. Liz was a little short, so she was cheating. She should have pushed it up a little bit more. Now, but Darryl, we're not allowed to hang these things up. Listen, if you see yard signs in your community and people are putting up not yard signs, yard sales, then it's okay. Don't worry about it. You're going to take them down. You don't leave them. You got to respect the community. But let me tell you why this is so powerful. Gang, listen to me. Anytime I went on a listing appointment, I would say to a homeowner, Mr. Ms. Hanna, one of the things we do to help get your property sold is we would put up we do open house, but we don't do it like anybody else. We put up a minimum of 10 of these signs. We drag people in. This is why we have such a high rate of selling our houses. Have you ever seen our signs, Mr. and Mrs. Hanna? And here's what a homeowner would always say. I see them every weekend. Why? Because I told you 10 was a minimum. If we are a big listing office, which we were, and we would have probably 4 to 8 open houses every weekend, that's 40 to 80 of these signs every weekend. This is great advertisement, ladies and gentlemen, in the community. This is powerful. Now, one of the things you can do, listen, if you don't want to do the sign, because you got to make the signs, you got to go out, you got to hang them up, and then take them down later. It's a little bit of work. You pay a kid to do it. If you don't want to get involved with that, at least do this. Get those feather I think they're called feather signs, feather flags, because those things. Now, D sign is the only one that I found that had the biggest signs. They're 11 feet, and they were good priced. And you can buy a bunch of those and try and drag people in to your block. So definitely do that. Okay. Gather your neighborhood list. So if you're going to do an open house in this neighborhood, make sure you get a list of all of the neighbors in that area. How do you do that? There's a couple of ways. Number one is you can go to Cold Directory. Cold Directory, you can buy a list of a community based on the criteria you tell them. Power agents, you guys get a discount with Cold. We negotiated a deal for power agents to save you hundreds of dollars. I think it's $250, $200 or $250. Or RedX, which is another one of our power vendors that we love. RedX. We love RedX. They gift. I love these people. Now, RedX, they have this thing called Geo Leads. You'll see it up there. It says right there, Geo Leads. Now, when you use the Geo Leads, because they have other features, and when you use the Geo Leads, you type in an address, like this one here, it says 741 Taylor Avenue. You type in an address, and then bing, it shows you, here's a list of people. And you can actually say, only give me people who've been in the house at least 2 years or 1 year. So that way you're not contacting new people if you care about that. I would say contact everybody. I wouldn't limit the list. Then you can download the list. You're buying the list. Ooh, you get to keep the list in an Excel file. It's now your list. Now you can email those people. You can door knock those people. Call those people, because we're going to use the open house as a platform to communicate with these people. When you get your list, the best thing to do for the community is first do a neighborhood open house. This is something I created years ago. Now it's popular. Everybody's doing it. But man, I've been doing this for 30 years. Telling agents, listen, we need to do a neighborhood open house where we invite the neighbors. Now, why do you do a neighborhood open house before you do a public open house? Here's why. When we do a public open house normally, and the nosy neighbor comes, they usually lie to us, and they say, well, we're just looking. No, you're just being nosy. But they don't tell us that, right? So now we're talking to these people thinking they're a buyer. They're not. They're wasting our time. Not to mention, not that they're wasting our time, and I shouldn't say that. But we're not speaking to them as a seller, as a homeowner that lives in the area. Plus, they're in a line now that they got to keep, right? So it's a very uncomfortable thing. So the best thing to do is before the public open house, you tell the neighbors, hey, listen, watch this. We created this template for you. This is a screenshot of a template for power agents. It's in the servicing chapter. And I want to show you something here. This is a wedding invitation you send out to the neighbors. You should handwrite the envelope with a real stamp, because now they're going to say, oh, it's a wedding. It's going to look like it. You're personally invited to this event by invitation only. And they're right there. I don't know if you can read it on the screen, gang, when I circle. As the homeowners will not be present, I'll be providing a personal tour of this home. If you send out a wedding invitation thing to all the neighbors saying, hey, listen, I'm doing a neighborhood open house by invitation only. The homeowners will not be home. Come check it out. You're going to get, if you mail out 50 of those, you're going to get 50 home neighbors coming, because it's like, oh, they're nosy. They're curious. Now, when you go through the house with these people, you're not trying to sell them the house. You're going to ask them questions about how long have you lived in the neighborhood? What do you like best about the neighborhood? Have you ever thought about moving? If you were going to move, where would you move to? What was the last time you did an updated market analysis on your property? I think every home should have it done at least once a year, because just like you do a physical once a year, you should have that done on your house. And right now it's a hot sales market. Why don't I do this? I don't mind. When I find the time, I come over to look at your house. I will go through it, and then I'll give you a scientific market analysis. You can, from one house, you can generate 50 listing appointments with this over here. By the way, now when you do the public open house, if the neighbors come back, they're probably going to drag somebody with them. Now you got 50 neighbors helping promote your listing and bringing more leads to you. Come on now, this is good stuff. But wait, there's more. Create an open house flyer and promotional pieces. This we know, but let me just, make sure it looks nice. Make sure it looks nice. Some of you want to do a brochure, some a flyer. I think I'm going to say this later. Gang, you have to label your photos, because like this house is easy, right? Because this, I know it's a bathroom. No, look. I don't know if you can see. So you got a kitchen. Do you see the second photo there? That's the bathroom, right? Is that the master bath? Maybe. Most likely it's a big bath. Is it possible that it is? Yes, it's possible. How do I know? I don't know. You want to know why? Because it wasn't labeled. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you from a buyer standpoint of view, you need to label your photos. It's like a virtual tour stagnant, 2D virtual tour. You have to label your photos. Now, the other thing is create promotional pieces for Facebook and Instagram. Power Agents, we just created these templates for you based on the Instagram dimension and Facebook dimension. So we gave you a set for Instagram and for Facebook, and you create these and you're going to post it, promote it on your social media. Power Agents, those templates are in the servicing sellers. We just created it this weekend, and we put it in there for you, just an FYI. Another thing is consider cleaning up your houses with your photos virtually as well. Box Brownie, great company. You'll see the before and after. If you ever do virtual staging, please, I've seen agents do this. It's so professional when you do this. Tell the consumer that this is a virtual dress up. And I do think it's better that you show both photos. So that's really obvious. This is what it looks like in real life. This is what it could look like. Here's another example. You see the one on the left? That's the real photo. The one on the right, that's it cleaned up virtual. I think that's an honest thing to do. It's a professional thing to do. But more importantly, when a buyer goes to see the house, they don't want to walk in and say, wait, this is not the house I saw on MLS, right? So make sure, I suggest you do that. Be prepared to answer questions that buyers are going to ask you. Ladies and gentlemen, so one of the open houses I went on this weekend, I was asking questions and the agent didn't know. And their answer was, oh, I never got that question before. I don't know. She didn't even tell me. I'll find out for you. Now, they didn't know I was Darryl, so I'm trying to hide who I was. And because a couple of people, they got, oh, Darryl, what are you doing here? And it was weird. They didn't know how to talk all of a sudden, like I was going to grade them. But here's some common questions. Why is the seller selling? So these are potential questions the buyers are going to ask. You should be prepared. What are you going to say to that? I'm not going to go through what your answer should be, but you need to, depends on every listing. How long has the home been on the market? They're going to ask that. Have they made any recent improvements or renovations? Any changes? How much are the utilities? How have they gotten any offers yet? Some buyers will ask that. When are the sellers planning to close? Here's something. What does this do, or how does that work? Like, there's certain features that a house has. Like one of the houses we had, there was an awning, right? And it's like, okay, where's the button for the awning? Like, that's something to point out. Oh, it's this little thing over here. There was another one where the windows were based on the heat of the sunroom. The heat told the room to open the thing. Like, I asked an agent, how does that work? And I don't know. So you need to be prepared for potential questions that a buyer might ask. Because if you don't have that answer, and it's not a strong answer, you're actually hurting your perception of who you are as a professional to this potential buyer or even potential listing. Be familiar with the area. Now, I put in here U.S. News. Do you see it right there, gang? U.S. News Best High Schools. Now, if you were to Google U.S. News Best High School, they actually score school districts based on SATs and percentage that go. It's all factual, all science. There's some, in our business, there's this whole fair housing concern, and some agents go from here to here. Like, I won't even talk about the neighbor. Like, I like Clink from Hogan's Heroes. I know nothing. I think you should know something. I think it's part of being fair. That's not fair housing. You can share statistical things. I had an agent who said to me, I was talking about the school district based on the score, saying that, yeah, this one doesn't score as high as this other one. And they said, yes, it does. And they were wrong. And actually what happened is that showed me the agent doesn't know the market. And it hurt the agent, right? So you can share statistical things. It's not opinion. It's not steering. It's here based on U.S. News Best High Schools. Here's where this school ranks. So anyway, keep that in mind. Also, create a frequently asked question sheet. Most agents don't have this. This will put you ahead and raise the bar of the perception of who you are, because you're doing a little something extra. Let me give you an example of a frequently asked question sheets that you can give to a buyer. How old are the appliances? How old is the roof? What type of heating? How much do the utilities usually run? Are there any other extra monthly expenses? Are there any featured home upgrades? How close is food shopping? The best neighborhood features, highlights. What's the closest, highest rated restaurant? Believe it or not, that's important to a new family moving in because they're thinking we're going to go out and hang out in the neighborhood. Anyway, creating something like this is a great piece to give to buyers. Power agents, I just want you to know, we created this new frequently asked questions for you. It's in the servicing chapter. Now, this is a screenshot. I'm giving screenshots. Gang, this is a Word document, Power Agents, where you can actually edit the questions. You can write your answers in there via the word processor, the word processor, whatever you use it, and print it out. So, gang, I want you to know it's a Word document that you can edit. Okay, now create signage to highlight the features. We created some other new stuff for you. Hey, George Rosario, I see George there. Hey, by the way, if you guys are learning, and we're only 25 minutes into this, are you guys learning anything so far? Do me a favor, throw it in the chat thing there, because I'm reading the chats as I'm teaching, and I like to know, have you learned anything? Do you like anything? Stuff like that. Okay, signage. Let's talk about some signage. I've seen some agents do this where they actually create a board that highlights some of the features that we were just talking about as far as neighborhood, shops, stuff like that. High-end, this one, they have a list of lesser-priced homes, larger-priced homes that are currently on the market. Here's another one, schools in the area, listings that are nearby, features. So you can create these little boards as people. That's pretty cool. I like that. But let me show you something that we created just today for the power agents, because I said to Julie, this is an old technique that nobody's doing anymore, and I would love to see it. And that's those little signs that you would put up that highlight certain things. So let me go through this. First of all, welcome to our open house. Look around, ask questions. Imagine yourself living here, make an offer. Welcome to our open house. Look around, ask questions, fall in love with the house, a different version. Now, for some homeowners, they are still concerned about coronavirus, especially ones with kids in the home. So you'll see some people saying, I need you to wear a mask, regardless of whether you've been vaccinated. So there's some things like signs like that we created. But here's another one. Special house feature. Include your text here. You may list and describe a special home features like new granite tops. So you can get those clear, those clear things that hold 8.5 by 11 signs, and you can put them around the house. Like if there's new carpet, there's the granite, there's the appliances, you can put it on a magnet. So you can actually, we created these little signs to put throughout the house. Walk-in closets, you put a little sign on the floor next to the closet. That's a cool thing, man. Nobody's doing it. And boy, I would have loved to seen that when I was touring houses this weekend. So power agents, we created those for you that you can edit and print out for yourself. Here's an example. Look at welcome, look around, ask questions, see yourself falling in love with the house, a little welcome table for the buyers or whoever shows up. Thanks for popping by in this little popcorn bag. Isn't that cute? I like that. All right. Now, this is not good what this agent did. You see what they did? They did a lazy man thing here where they printed out the MLS, stapled the business card. Don't do that. Make a brochure, please. Don't do that. Okay, that's too easy. Now, arrange food with a local vendor for high-end listings. Or if you're going to do a party open house format, meaning that you're not giving tours, people just come in and hang out. That's a type of open house. So people can come and stay, right? And you should have more than one agent always. You should never do an open house by yourself, especially in this hot, crazy market. So if you had a vendor, a local vendor, ask them to donate some food or give you a 50% discount. You'll advertise that vendor. So when people come in the high-end hanging out party atmosphere, get that sponsored, right, by a vendor, okay? Preparation, deep cleaning. This is similar to the staging concept. We're going to tell a homeowner, let's stage it, and also we're going to do deep cleaning. That house should sparkle. So hire a cleaning crew to come in and really give it that little something extra. I already talked about the property brochure and labeling the rooms. I already mentioned that. Let's continue on some more. Maybe have a loan officer help underwrite your open house. Throw some money at this. Have them pay for the discounted meal if you're going to do a meal. I'm going to say do a raffle. That's another tip. Do a raffle to get people to come. Raffle off a color TV, not like a plasma, that $5,000 one, but maybe a little something that's a few $100s. Have them lender sponsor it. But I will tell you, a good idea is the lender should put together, if you were to buy this house, here's how much this house would cost you. ZillowRealtor.com, they both have that online, but it's cumbersome. Like if I go to a house and I'm looking at buying and I want to get a sense, if I put down 20%, what are the payments? It's a good, let me tell you what happens, gang. When buyers go to an open house, because this is what April and I did every weekend, we made it like a thing. Let's go look at some houses, and then we're going to go have lunch somewhere. And we always had lunch by a house that we were thinking of buying because we want to get to know the neighborhood. And the more of this stuff that we'd have, we would sit down and go over the house, you see. So this is great stuff. Now, next thing, create branded value pieces. Hang on to your seats, your hats, whatever the expression is, because it's a lot that I'm going to show you. You should not do all this, what I'm going to show you. Power agents, I want to point something out. One of our, Christina, she said, the amount of information Dow gives is amazing. You're never at a loss of the investment reward. Thank you, Christina. Love you. Shout out to you. Now, I'm going to show you some value pieces. I have a team of writers that writes content. Everything that we write and give to power agents, you can pretend you wrote it. It's yours to use it. I'm going to give you an example. One of the things that we wrote is a buyer's guide. It's 38 pages. Now, there's some other guides I've seen out there. I think ours is the best guide that's out there. And what you do is you promote this as your piece. You put your contact information at the bottom. You put your contact information in the back, and you give this as a value-added piece. You bind it, you staple it, you print it in color, you give it to every buyer that comes. And it helps elevate your perceived value, okay? But wait, there's more. That's just an example. I have some others. In the case of when you have sellers come into your open house, we created a 43-page seller's guide for the power agents. The same concept. You put your contact information. You find somebody and you print out a bunch of these. And you bind it. And you have a seller who happens to come to your open house, or you do the neighborhood's open house. You give them this little gift that you put together just for them. And you look like a genius who has the foresight to do something like that. Now, if you don't want to print out these, because there's a lot of pages, if you want to have just some pieces, you can just print out a handful of flyers, like the home buyer's checklist, the loan application checklist, the moving checklist for children. Again, power agents, this is all for you to use, okay? We create more stuff than you'll ever need. But that's because we love creating these ideas. We love doing what we do. We love training. We love education. We love creating these pieces. This over here, this is one of my favorites. If a family has children, it can be traumatic for children. And even no matter how young they are, they can't articulate it. I know a lot about children, the psyche. There's a reason why I have an affection for children. And the children, when they're going through a major move, it can be traumatic. So we created this piece, A Good Move Kids, making a move a game for the kids, okay? So you can put together, you can print this out, and if you find a buyer has children, please give them this, because this will make the move better for the kids, okay? Now, power agents, I want to tell you something, because there's so many of these guides. Power agents, when you go into the Power Program website, if you just search, there's a search field. You'll see on the screen there, I wrote move, because if the title has move in it, you'll see it on the screen, all of the easy move, children move, all these items will quickly show up for you if you just do a search. So there's a new homeowner checklist. There's the first time buyer's guide. You customize that. The 40 things a buyer's agent does to earn their commission. Oh, this is great. If you have any buyer coming in, you need to get them to hire you to be their buyer's agent. This is another awesome, incredible piece. The Easy Move Guide, and it goes on. Now, this one here, the 184 things that I do as a realtor to earn your business and your commission, this is another powerful piece. You'll see my photo was on that first slide, but that was just a template. You customize it, you put your photo. Now, listen, guests, if you decide to do the $5 trial today, you get that 184. You get to keep it. So I'll tell you, it's worth the $5 just for that one little bonus you're going to get today. All right, so gang, that was preparing for your open house. Let's talk about promoting your open house. And here's a bunch of ideas. How are we doing, gang? I got 4 and I'm only up to number 2. Are you guys learning anything? Can you tell me what you like best about what I've taught you? What's the one thing in the first section about preparing that you like? What's the one best thing that I taught so far that you like? So please jot that down right now, because we actually create this. We copy these chats and we like to see what you guys like the best. So please tell us. While you're doing that, let me go on to the next thing, which is promotion. When it comes to promoting your open house, well, of course, we're going to use social media. I have some thoughts on how to do that. You want to promote in a community Facebook group. So there's a good chance that there is a community group where your listing is. Like I live in Shoreham Wading River School District. There is a Facebook group called the Shoreham Wading River group. Now, if I was an agent, I was listing a house in Wading River, I would promote it to the group saying, hey, I'm doing an open house, come by. Of course, you're going to do all your other platforms, right? Your personal page, your business page, but I have a plan on how to promote in social media. Here's the plan, jot it down if you're taking notes. The first, what you're going to do, 3 posts. The first is you're going to do a few days before the open house, a few days. You can actually do even more if you want to, but at a minimum, you're going to do a few days before. You're going to do it the day before. And then the last is you're going to do it in the morning. Now, watch this. When you promote the open house the day of, what I want you to do is do a live thing now and stream it, walking through the house, saying, I'm getting ready for my open house here, 1010 Hana. We're so excited. I'm going to show you, and you show the living room and the bedroom and the thing. Listen, if you're in the area, come on by. It's 10 to 2, 4 hours. You have a choice. I hope to see you, the address. And that's how you do a live one, but do it as you're setting up. Okay. Post it in your MLS. Now, when I say post in your MLS, I don't know about your MLS, but I know the MLS that I live. You can put brokers open house and public open house. There was something interesting a really smart agent did. When I printed out the listing, it had 4 open houses, Saturday and Sunday. It was Saturday public, Sunday public, brokers open house Saturday, brokers open house Sunday, and it was the same time as the public one. I thought this was brilliant. So she was saying, hey, listen, I'm doing a public open house. If you're a broker, come on by as well. So she posted 4 different, that was brilliant. Here's another one. Upload a photo or a slide. You know, in your MLS, how you have the pictures of your listing, the bedrooms, the kitchen, the basement, create another picture that's actually a flyer announcing your public open house. Now, this is brilliant because you put it in there. You can actually have a little contact information about you. It's a way to promote you at the same time on the side. And it also will be picked up on Zillow and Realtor.com and etc. Door knock flyers, inviting the neighbors. Now, you should have already done a neighborhood open house separate from the public open house. You should have done that already. But in addition, why not invite the neighbors to come by again, you see? Now, you can do this as a door knocking, like a few days before. Go hit the streets and invite them. And you tell them, listen, give them also this. Say, listen, after the open house, if you ever wanted me to do a neighborhood market report on your house, because we anticipate that this house that I'm going to do, the open house, is going to get more buyers than houses we have. So this might be a good time. If you're thinking, or if you just want to know the value of your house, I'd be happy to do that. Thank you very much. That's how you generate a ton of listings from that one door knocking and with that one flyer. Use slide broadcast to broadcast a voicemail to your leads past clients. Let me tell you what slide broadcast is. It's a company. Just Google slide broadcast. Don't do it now. I'm still teaching. But if you Google that, you'll find their website. It's actually slidebroadcast.com. But what this software is you can record a message and then have it blast out to people's cell phones, but it doesn't dial their phone. It goes directly to their voicemail, so you're not annoying them with some kind of automated sales call thingy thing. It goes right to the voicemail, and then they'll just see their phone says, oh, you have a voicemail, you see? So you can invite people that way. Email your list, of course, about the open house. Use a raffle to boost attendance. We talked about that briefly, or having a lender pay for the raffle, whatever that is. Invite other agents. Get on the phone or email other fellow agents that may have sold homes similar to the house that you are going to do an open house, because maybe they sold it because they had a bunch of buyers for that house, and those buyers are looking for another house similar to that house or in that neighborhood. So this is all good stuff. Promotion. Now, for aggressively priced properties, hold all showings and offers until the open house. So if you've got a new listing, and this thing, the phone's already ringing, and people want to see it today, and they want to put an offer in today, say we're not listening to any offers until a couple of days after the open house. So you can want to see it before the open house, that's fine, but we're holding all offers. So it's almost creating something of an auction when you do that. Okay. Now, let's talk about presenting. We're talking about the day of the open house. Okay, so we're calling it presentation because I was trying to stick with the 4 Ps, but it's the day of the open house. Get there early, please get there early and turn those lights on, all the lights, okay? Now, here's an open house packing list that we created, Power Agents. There's a little checklist we created for you. Let me zoom in, and this checklist is in the servicing section. I'm going to go through it quick because there's a couple of things I want to say. Yard sign, feather flags, directional signs. These are things that we talked about. Sign-in sheets. I'll talk about in a minute. A better way to do those. Property brochure, property survey. This is important. Have a survey, print it out, and give that as a piece to buyers. I'm telling you, from buyer standpoint, the survey is important. Even if you haven't uploaded in your MLS, because we can do that in our MLS, it's uploaded, but it's not. Listen, this is another thing. It's uploaded as a separate document. I want you to upload it as a photo. Okay, so have the survey and the floor plan as photos, so that way Zillow and Realtor.com picks it up. Also, print it out to give to the buyers at the open house. I'm telling you, this is important. A Bluetooth speaker, because you want to have some music going there. Validation pieces like the e-guides, the buyer guide, the seller guide, those guides that I showed you earlier, those 30, 40 page guides. Extra mask and shoe covers if the client needs that, and just assume people will not have a mask, and you need to give it to them. Scented candles, mortgage sheet I talked about. Now this is really good. Have comps if your house is priced well, but do not give it to the buyers. Ask them if they wanted to email it. So in other words, you should have a pile or a report on that house that shows comps and what's been selling and and you should show that to the buyer, but don't give it to them. Why? Because if they look at it, say, oh, that's good. Can I have a copy of that? Say, I only have this one, but I'd be more than happy to email it to you. So now you got their email address, which they should have filled out on the form before, but maybe they didn't fill it out, or they give you the wrong email address. So this will entice them to give you the real email. Now, let me tell you about the USB drives and QR codes. This over here is I love this idea that I just thought of it because as a buyer. So April and I were looking at all these houses. We're getting a little confused, right? So what we started doing is we started videotaping. We go in the house, and we would take my phone and we would walk the house. Now, what was funny, one of the houses we looked at, there was another guy coming out of another room. He was doing the same thing. So when I saw that, I said, aha, I have an idea. What if the agent videotapes on their phone a walk through a virtual listing and puts it on a USB drive, and on that USB drive it has that video, so when the buyers come, you give them your USB drive with your logo on it, say here's a video tour of the house for you. And let me tell you why this is powerful, is because what April also I did is when we come back to the house, we would sit down. So we would look on our phone, and we would also look at that when we got to the house, and we would try and find the listing again. If we had a jump drive that we can see it on the big monitor screen, that would have been awesome. But wait, there's more to this idea. What you can also do for people when they're going to want to see the listing, when they're having lunch to review what they just saw, you can actually have a QR code, and you'll see at the bottom of the screen, you can create a flyer or a postcard with the QR code. So that way, when April and I are sitting at a table at a restaurant of the house we just saw, I could scan the code on my phone. It would upload to me the tour, the video of that house we just came from. But wait, there's more. what you should do is record a standard opening. So you put it at the front of every one of these recordings that you do for every one of your listings. I wrote this for you guys. Hi, this is Darryl Davis. You're about to watch a video of one of our top listings. I just want to take a moment to thank you for your time. If you're interested in this listing or any other properties for sale, please keep in mind that one of the benefits to being in like me being in homes every day is that I often am aware of additional features of the listings that may not be depicted in a way that does not do justice with online photos and descriptions. I'd be more than happy to discuss your needs to help you find your dream home. In addition, I have a 6-step buying process. In other words, you do a little opening video that you record one time and you just copy and add that to all of your video tours. I love this idea. Julie, how are we doing? How's everybody doing? I have so much more. Are we having fun?
We're having fun.
All right. Are people learning anything? You guys learning anything? Tell me, please.
They are. They've been putting all kinds of comments in. So
all right. Don't forget your questions too, right? Those we're going to do questions at the end.
We do have some questions, so bear with us, guys. We're going to get to this at the end.
Those questions I'm going to answer. I'm going to teach until 1, and then we're going to go to the questions. So just hang on there. But write your questions now. Stream your open house in the neighborhood closed group. Now, you shouldn't stream it. You should have a friend stream your open house because you want to focus on build a relationship with people, and they can stream it live to that closed Facebook group. Also, this is very important. Do not do open houses alone. Do it with at least 2 agents. I'm going to show you why. One of the open houses, well, most of the open houses we went to, I should say, there was a line, and I had this idea. Instead of what they did is they let people in one at a time. They tour the house and then they will leave. The next person comes in. So there was a waiting. Here's what you should do. You should have a greeter at your open house. And here's what the greeter would do. The greeter, while people are waiting online, so you're in the house giving the tour, the greeter's outside greeting all these people with a clipboard, asking everybody to fill out this information. There's your name, your address, what you're looking for, blah, blah, blah. But here's what I like better than so this is one of the, this is the original sheet we gave our students. And you'll notice that there's like 4 on a sheet. And by the way, there are softwares that you can do digital sign-ins. I don't like digital. I like the paper. There's a psychology behind that. I'm not going to get into it right now. So anyway, so you do that. But here's my favorite one. We just created this one. And this one, because this is from my experience this past weekend, it would be an 8.5 by 11 on a clipboard. So you'd have several clipboards with several sheets. The greeting agent, we'll call them the greeter, will go out there and give each buyer that's there a clipboard to fill out one sheet. This sheet is going to be a lead sheet for you. Also, the greeter should be out there talking to everybody and building a relationship. So that's what you should be doing. I love that idea. Here's my point. Let me go back. Gang, these people like this, it's a sin, as my mother would say, that they're all these people there and there's not an agent talking and building a relationship with them. And you need to do that. You need to have another agent there, and they stay out there the whole time, networking, schmoozing, and talking to these buyers or hidden sellers in that list. Okay, let's go back. All right, this is good. Make sure the seller get the pets out of there. Try and have them not there. That's good. Remove vehicles from the driveway and get it out of there. Don't park around the corner. Now think like a builder for staging. If a builder was doing a new model, what do? They have all the lights on. So I want you to think like that. There's no smelly spray, or if there is, it's a nice thing. There's music. They remove personal photos. You know, you should do that. Ask the sellers to put those away along with lock up any valuables. One of the houses, I went into the drawer because it was a drawer that I wanted to see where it was. And there was seriously a ton of cash right there. And then when I went back a second time, because we were thinking about this house, I opened up the same thing by mistake and the cash was still there. So fine china, put it out, make it nice, decorate it think like a builder, nice bedding, etc. Okay, presentation, we're talking still. Stock the fridge for vacant properties, not with food, but if you're in a hot weather place, Arizona, Florida, bing, look at that. Isn't that? And it's a little sign that says, please help yourself to an ice cold beverage. Imagine if you're a buyer in a vacant and the refrigerator, you open it up, bing, you see that? That would be pretty cool. Also, put away your phone, man. Don't be texting. That's so disrespectful. This is a time, make believe you're not this focused and be present. I saw that a few times. You're telling people, listen, this over here is more important right now than you. That's horrible. Think Walt Disney. What would Walt do? He wouldn't have his people looking at a phone. They're working. Have one neighborhood report. Encourage them to request it by email. I talked about that earlier, right? Having one report or comps and enticing the buyer to ask for it, to email it. We are a big fan of RPR, Realtors Property Resource. This to me is the bomb of CMAs and market report. And here's why I love it also, not just because it's so powerful, but because as a realtor, it's free to you. We love it so much. What we did, Power Agents, listen to me. If you go to webinars on demand in the Power Program website for you, you will see guest speakers. And we had two folks from RPR do a training session for a whole hour on the wonderful features of that. And I'm telling you, it's free. It's part of your membership. And a lot of agents don't use it because they don't know how to use it. That's why we recorded that for you guys. Also, I want you to be safe. Unfortunately, we hear things about open houses. That's why you should not be alone. I'm not going to teach. I'm going to just show you real quick. What I did was I found these devices like medical guarding, like you press it, it's emergency thing. Because when there was one time there was a bunch of open house agents getting hurt, and people attacking. And so medical guarding, they have a watch too. You press the button, it looks like a regular watch. I love that. So it's a hidden help thing for you. There's some other ones. You guys, you'll get a copy of these slides. By the way, I'm going to show everybody how you can get a copy of the slides at the end. Okay, so hang on there. So anyway, this is another reason why you do it with another agent. And plus, if you're getting a busy open house, then you're definitely safe because you got a lot of people there. Make believe you're being recorded because you might be. The homeowner might put some cameras in that they didn't even tell you. So be careful what you say. Just always assume the seller is listening. Hire a drone company. Can you imagine doing a public open house and in the neighborhood, there was this drone flying up and down the block or around the town in the neighborhood promoting your open house? Is that not an awesome idea? You're darn spanky. It's an awesome idea. This is going to give you some really great attention. This is better than even the sides. This was a little crazy. There's a headless person. I just had to share that. That was weird, whatever that was. Okay. Now, don't do that one, though. Ask this discovery question. When you're showing the house, as you're touring the house with the buyers, you want to ask questions like, what brings you folks in here today or out here today? How long have you been looking for a property? Have you made any offers yet? What do you plan on doing with your current home? Oh, you don't have a home, you're renting. Okay, great. Do you have any representation? What do you mean by representation? That question is to tease them and to start a dialogue about buyer agency and why that is so important. That's the trigger question there. Anyway, I'm going to give everybody a copy of these questions. Those are great questions to ask while you're showing a buyer a property. Here's your post open house follow-up stuff. Send a text if the house didn't work for them and give them other houses that they might be interested. For example, hello, Hana. Thanks for stopping by Sunday. I wanted to check in and ask if you had any questions for you about the house that you stopped by. Also, I would like to share some other similar properties for sale. I'd be happy to set appointments to view these properties. If you're interested, bing, bing, bing. Homes like this are spending approximately X amount of days on the market, so let me know so you can get a head start. Another one you can do, this one, gang, for multiple offers. This is great. Dear Hana, great to meet you at blah, blah last week. I hope you got a good feel for the house and the benefits of the great pool or whatever. We had an overwhelming interest by many who attended, so the seller will be hearing all offers this coming Tuesday. If you would like to write an offer, please contact me as soon as you can so I can assist you in helping you win this home. However, if this house does not fit your needs, but you're interested in the neighborhood, I have another property available nearby. It has many wonderful qualities that house had with a few surprises. You can send this as a text. You can send it as an email. Power agents, those things that I just showed you. And Julie, I think I want you to double check on those documents I just showed. We'll talk about it later. Just remind me, please. Gang, it's going to be in the buyer tab. So power agents, when you go to the buyer tab, and you go to prospecting text, that's where you will find those, okay? Send a text if the house didn't work, like I just said. Use multiple offer spreadsheet if necessary. So after the open house, if you've got multiple offers, one of the things that you can do, and by the way, guests, I'm going to give you a copy of this if you want to try the Power Agent program, but there's a guide that you can customize and give it to your buyers to show them in multiple offers. Here's what you can expect. Here's how you can win. Here's the best way to do this. This guide is 28 pages long. It's pretty powerful. Also, if you're the listing agent, Power Agents, we created this Excel spreadsheet that actually compares all the offers. So what you would do is use this to help the homeowner, because it's not always the price. There's other things to consider. Are they waiving inspection, or are they waiving certain other things, right? Engineer inspection. The appraisal, when that date would be, the loan that they're going to get, what type of loan, et cetera, et cetera. So use that. Guess if for that $5 to try the Power program, you're going to get that e-guide and that Excel spreadsheet along with a whole bunch of other stuff. So it's really, if you're a guest, you should grab that. It's so worth it. The follow-up calls, if you're going to call people, somebody said earlier about their conversion is really bad after an open house. We have this follow-up dialogue to call. Let's go through it really quick. Hi, the reason why I was calling it, thank you for stopping by my open house at blah, blah. If you remember, you were there. It was at this address. Yeah. At this house, if you remember, was a 4-bedroom, 2-bath. If that's the style and price range you're looking in, there's some other new listings that have come on the market, and I think they're really awesome. Is that the style? And et cetera, and you want to just continue and try and generate that listing, that buyer appointment, so you can sit down with that buyer and then talk about buyer agency. One other thing is, this is a little bonus I just wanted to share with you guys. And that is, if you convert buyers into clients of yours, they hire you as their buyer's agent, you should then give this buyer this flyer that says, I'm currently working with an agent as their buyer client. And here's what you tell your buyers to do. Mr. and Mrs. Hana, any open houses you go to from now on, if I'm not there with you and it's a listing with another agent, you need to give them this flyer, this little certificate, letting them know you are being represented by me. And if they have any questions, they can call me. I love this idea. It puts the agent on notice. It's like if somebody were hitting on me, they say, no, look, I got a ring. I'm married. It's like a ring for a buyer agent. I love this idea. Plus, it's good for the buyer, because every time that they give that flyer out, what are they doing? They're committing to you psychologically. They say, listen, I'm already committed. I'm already in a committed relationship with another agent. Okay. Anyway, so that is it for the open house thing. Now, let me talk to the guests. Everybody stay, because I'm going to answer questions, but I want to talk to the guests for a second, because we have a gift for the guests. If you're a guest, I'm going to encourage you to become a Power Agent for $5. Here's why. Because you're going to get complete access to the site. You can cancel anytime. You're going to get bonuses today. Part of the bonuses is a copy of this training, plus a copy of all the slides. You get all the PowerPoint slides. But let me tell you what the Power program is really quick. And Power Agents, do me a favor, shout out and tell the non-Power Agents if there's anything that you love about the course. What do you love about it? Please help me to communicate the value that you see to your fellow realtor. But every Monday, gang, we have a coaching call with our Power Agents. It's a live call Monday. It goes for about 2 hours. This is where you can ask me anything, and I will coach you, and everybody listens, and then we record it, and you can listen to it over and over again. Sean, one of our Power Agents, said, you know what, he was skeptical before, and he said, but the $5 drew him in, but you cannot spend a better $47 a month being coached by a knowledgeable, ethical person. Thank you for that, Sean. And by the way, there's no long-term contracts, so you can cancel any time. But, our retention rate's pretty good because of the value we give people. These webinars every Wednesday are recorded. Like this one is being recorded right now, and it'll be on demand for Power Agents so they can listen to it over and over again and slow it down and pause it, because I know this was a fire hose of content. There is a closed Facebook group just for Power Agents, and this is a tremendous amount of networking and brainstorming and really great, high-quality people. It's not one of those open groups where things get crazy with some of those posts. Now, this is a very controlled thing. We have the website. I'm going to just show you a couple of screenshots of the site. If you go to the dashboard, there's a tab called Classroom, and that's where the magic is. When you click on classroom, there is all of these areas of real estate that we alphabetize that are important to you. So for example, farming and self-promotion and mailings. Let's pretend that you're having an issue with farming and self-promotion, or you need some ideas. You go there and there's literally hundreds. I am not blowing smoke. I counted, last time we counted it, which was a couple of months ago, and we've added more. There was 552 different items for power agents. So we're probably at 600 flyers, forms, checklists, scripts, dialogue, and anything that is a flyer that you would give or give out to civilians, as I call them, you can customize it with your contact information. We created a favorite tab. So if you like something, it'll save it in its own folder just for you. So of the 600 things, you can dwindle things down to your top, 20 or 30 items that you like. We have this great search function, similar concept as Google. If you type in the word, for example, FSBO, then all of a sudden, all the FSBO items, whether it's an infographic, a training thing, a script, a dialogue, a flyer for a FSBO is there. Now, as a guest, here's what I'm going to just tell you what these bonuses are. One of the things you're going to get is a PowerPoint slide file of 103 slides that you can customize to do a listing appointment either virtually or in person, along with an hour training how to deliver that. My skill, my focus is how to list FSBOs and expireds. My power agents know that if you can list those, you can list anything. So that's why we teach the hardest, because that's how I built my business. There's a business plan you're going to get. It's 43 pages that you can fill out, and you get to keep all this. It's the best business plan, I think, in our industry. If you're a new agent or an experienced agent needing to restart your business, we got that for you too, a 29-page guide on what you should be doing in the next 30 days, along with my 12 best dialogues, calling FSBOs, expireds, leaving voicemail messages, etc. Again, you get to keep all this. And there's the 184 things that you do to earn your commission. How to present offer, or what to do with multiple offer situation. Now, that's not for you. That one is you put your logo on it, your photo, and you give that to your buyers or you give that to the sellers. It helps manage the emotional roller coaster these people are going to go through, along with that Excel spreadsheet on multiple offers. Plus, to finish this off, you're getting a copy of today's slide, a copy of this recording, and a 30 days to our CRM. If you need a CRM, some agents don't have, you should have one. So that's why we give that as a gift for 30 days for you to try it. Everything on the screen, if you go to my website and you buy it, that's what you're going to pay, is almost $2,000. But you get to get it for $5, and you get to keep it if you decide to drop out as a power agent during the fight, which I hope you don't. But technically, you could click on that thing, sign up, get it all emailed, and then cancel like 5 minutes later. I hope you don't, but you could do that. Okay. With that said, Jules, I think I am done.
Yay! Thank you to everybody who is commenting on our power agents. Sudesh, and we actually have a JS, both want to know, do you do the public open house and the neighborhood open house on the same day, or should you do them?
It's better to do the neighborhood open house on a separate day, and don't put signs, just put a little thing in front of the house. Don't make a big thing, because you don't want to bring in non-neighbors. You could put, I guess, maybe one flag. You want to make it welcome, but do it on a separate day. It'll be better for you to manage that. Yeah.
Excellent. Should visitors be allowed to try out the items, such as opening the awning? What if it breaks? Shouldn't that all be done at the inspection?
No, if it should break, then that's a problem. People need to touch it, feel it, smell, like me opening up a drawer. I don't know why I did it, and I did it twice, and it was the same drawer. The house was huge, Julie, and I opened up the same drawer. I don't know why, but there was something about this drawer in the kitchen that it was like a workspace too, and for some reason, I felt that was important. I think that I went to another house that had an awning, and the homeowner demonstrated it, and boy, that was a real selling feature. Just watching that thing come out over so nicely. Anyway, no, you if it's open, it's open. We should open the house. Don't worry if it breaks. If it does, it's a problem, and it needs to get fixed. Stuff happens. Next question.
There you go. Can you go over using the flash drive and the QR codes? We are gonna we'll have an article about that, Daniel, but I don't know if you want to talk about that real quick.
I don't want to reteach stuff that we already covered. So here's what I'll say, Daniel, if you're a power agent, just watch that segment again when you get this video. And yeah, and if you still have a question, you can ask us about it. But I think I covered that pretty much. Go ahead, Julie. Next.
Speaking of that, Veer loves your webinars. So glad to be a power agent. Feel like you're growing and learning. If you have he has trouble with a listing, so how do you discuss that? So that would be a coaching call.
Yeah, if you have a listing problem and he wants to get coaching on, yeah, bring it to the Monday call. Yeah. Right? Is that the question?
Yeah, that's exactly. Okay. So just call in, and if you go on the coaching call section of the site, even if you can ask that question in advance if you'd like, and we'll cover that. We'll cover that at the top of the call. So
here's what you do. So power agents, when you whoops, I just got logged out, Sarah. That's funny. Sarah, I don't know why I got logged out, so I'm logging back in. We just added that new software, so hopefully we won't have a problem. I am now in the admin, so I don't know. Give me a second here. So I'm going to go to the live website, and I'm there, classroom. So if I go to the coaching calls, hopefully this is going to work. This is what I just clicked on. Okay, yeah. So when you go to the coaching calls, first of all, we record the calls every week. These are every Monday. And what you can do is if you click on this button, I have a question for the call, you can click on that and then fill out your question. It goes right to my email. And when I do the coaching calls on Monday, I actually start off every call reading those questions first and coaching that person. We record it. And then we go to the open calls where we open it up where people can just take themselves off mute and talk to me and ask the question. So next question.
Darryl, what time are the calls on Mondays?
They start at 11 o'clock Eastern time. And like I said, they've been going almost 2 hours now. We started at an hour, but our commitment, even like today, I'm going to stay here until all questions are answered. So whatever that takes is when we end the call. So
perfect. If you cancel after paying $47 a month, are you bound to a contract?
No, there's no contract here. There's no so I'm going to be clear one more time about this. And I appreciate the question because there's companies that don't do what we do. They want to lock you in. I feel like if you don't want what we got, I don't want to lock you in. It's right. Like so I got to earn my fee. You know why we have 600 things? Because we feel like my company, we got to keep earning your business, right? So be clear, when you sign up on the trial, you could, with $5, you're going to get an email of everything on the screen right now, and you get to keep it. Now, if you cancel the next day, you get to keep it. So you can cancel anytime during the trial. Once after the 30 days, it's $47 a month. Anytime during that month to the next month, anytime you cancel, no problem. So you're not locked in is the point. Next question.
Wonderful. How do you deal with a dog fixer-upper that you're holding open for another agent?
Well, that would be part of your criteria, right? So if you're doing an open house for another agent and that listing is a dog, number one, maybe you shouldn't do that open house because you don't have the relationship with the homeowner to tell them, hey, you want to clean this mess up? Number two is if you have no other options, that you have to do it on this listing, then ask the agent if they can have that conversation. And then maybe give that staging thing. Now, I don't want you to give material to non-power agents, but in this scenario, if you're a power agent asking that question, give the listing agent this home staging checklist and ask them if they wouldn't mind giving it to their client. Just take off your stuff at the bottom, and that's the other way to do that. Okay?
Wonderful. With following up calls, do you like using BombBomb video text messages?
Yes, you can do that. I tried BombBomb. I'm not crazy about it because me personally, it was cumbersome, but that's me. So I think texting is better. The BombBomb just seemed like there's so many steps to make that happen. So, but yeah, you could do it. If it works for you, definitely do it. And that's true about everything, gang. Like everything I just showed you, do what works for you, right? So I just gave you a fire hose of content. Some of you are not going to be putting out 10 signs on telephone poles with directional fluorescent arrows. Like you just don't want to do that, even though I believe that's a great thing. So do what works for you. Okay.
Where would we find all the validation pieces that you showed today, the flyers and the signs?
Okay. So if you go to Classroom, a lot of the validation pieces are in the buyer or in the servicing listings. But here's the other place that you can find it. If you just type the word guide, because all of those validation pieces have the word guide in them. And then you will find the seller's guide, the buyer's guide, the parking lot party guide, the easy move guide, and there's more guides. If you click older posts, then there would be more guides, right? So and if you type buyer, so there's a couple of different ways to find it like that.
Oh, it's funny you showed the parking lot party because we're coming up on Stuff the Bus season. So people are going to want to download that parking lot party.
This parking lot party planning guide is the bomb. There is flyers, checklists on how to promote an event in your community, right? So we created it originally for Halloween trunk or treat. And this was such a success. We said, you know what if we gave power agents a guide on how to just put any event together. So if you wanted to do a community event, a fundraiser event. So I don't know how many pages that guide is, but that's at least another 30 or 40 pages. And it has, what is it, Julie?
Yeah, there's a party literally a party idea for every month, but we're coming back into back to school season. So there's a Stuff the Bus idea in there for getting back to school supplies for local kids. That's a great idea.
Okay. Next question.
When do you give them currently working with the buyer agent piece, that certificate, the buyer certificate? When would you give that to your buyers?
Yeah, after they sign with you. So part of what you want to do, then this session only covered the open house, right? So after the open house, I just love this hover thing. Yeah. But after the buyers come into your office and they hire you as a buyer's agent, that's when you give them this, okay? Which, by the way, let me just show the power agent something. When you go to Classroom, and hang on there, gang, because it seems like there's a lot of power agents clicking on it right now. So just give me a second. So it's acting a little slow. If you go to Webinars on Demand, okay? So power agents, I want you to see this. These are all the recordings of the weekly Wednesday webinars. So like today's webinar is going to, and it's all done by date order. So today's webinar is going to show up here in a few days. But you'll see how it says this one here, how to prepare your buyers in a seller's market. That webinar goes through how to do a face-to-face conversation with a buyer the first time you meet them and get them to hire you as a buyer's agent. So if you click on that webinar, I'm going to show you something, everybody. There is the recording of the webinar. And then if you click here, this is my PowerPoint slides, okay? So, yeah, so there's a lot of training there. There's one other thing I'm going to point out. When you go to that Webinars on Demand, right next to it says Webinar Registration. This is just for the power agents. So this will tell you the upcoming training sessions. So like this one is today, right here over to the right. Tomorrow is how to generate LinkedIn leads using your power agent content. So Jennifer is going to, this is an outside LinkedIn expert that we hired to show you how to use LinkedIn to generate leads using some of the power agent material. Next Wednesday is going to be your marketing calendar must to finish the year strong. I'm going to tell you, gang, power agents, next Wednesday webinar, this is going to be another awesome webinar. How to get leads without paying Zillow. We are not a fan of Zillow here at Power Headquarters at all. Now, this over here is the coaching calls every Monday, and this over here is Tuesday troubleshoot. So this helps you learn the website. So every Tuesday, Gail, she goes through the website because there's so much great content in here. And if you have questions about content on the site, that's on every Tuesday for you as well.
And she goes through how to get into your directory, how to change your directory, make sure that you're in the directory. We talked about that right at the beginning. So
okay.
Nadine asked, can the CRM be integrated with my website?
Yes. As a matter of fact, the Power Builder, which is the CRM, that's this one right here. That one actually comes with a free website for you. And it has IDX options to get an IDX feed of listings into your website. This is an incredible website, plus the CRM. And the Power Builder, a lot of our content, the letters, the texts, all the things that some of the things I talked about is actually in the CRM as well. Next question, Julie.
Yes. What happens if a buyer comes in with his agent? Can you still give your materials that have your information on it?
Sure. Yeah, you could, because the agent can't copy the material. It's yours. It's your power agent. We gave it to you to use for you. So I wouldn't worry about that. Number two is, even though the buyer says they have an agent, well, yeah, maybe they have an agent they're talking to. Maybe it's a friend. Maybe it's somebody that's shown them some houses, but they never committed a buyer agency agreement with them, which is different. So I would treat every buyer, even if they said I'm being represented, as if they're not. Okay, because it won't hurt you. It can only help you.
Wonderful. For a neighbor's open house, what day of the week is best, and what time frame would you suggest?
The neighborhood open house, if you're going to do it during the week, which is an option, then it would have to be after work hours. We still have people working from home because of the pandemic, but just assume some people are going back to their jobs 9 to 5. So it should be an evening one. If you're going to do it during the week, I personally would pick one of the days. You're only going to do the neighborhood open house once, and it should be the very first thing you do. So it should be on a new listing, right? So if a new listing comes out on Monday or Tuesday, on Saturday, I would do the neighborhood open house only. And then Sunday, you can do a public open house as well.
Awesome. Do you have any tips for an empty house with large rooms, but they won't pay for staging?
Yeah, no tips. Just keep it clean. That's all. Some buyers prefer vacant properties. That it's easy to visualize. Some people say April thinks that without furniture, the house seems smaller on a vacant. So, but if they're not willing to pay for staging, what can you do? So,
perfect.
No tips for that.
How soon will these PowerPoints be available?
They'll be available by Friday.
Perfect.
Now, if you hang on, if you are a guest and you become a power agent, we will email it to you right away. Power agents, it has to go through a couple extra hoops to get it onto the website for you. But power agents, if you need them right today, you don't want to wait till Friday, then you just hit this little button over there and you just send a little message to us, our team, saying, hey, I'm a power agent. Can I please get those slides earlier as opposed to Friday? And we'll do that.
They're usually up by tomorrow. They're usually up by the afternoon.
Right.
But while you're there, I'm glad you're there at the chat. If somebody was a power agent and they want to re-sign up, how do they do it?
Yeah, if you are an old power agent that canceled, you want to come back, we would love to have you back. You just hit send a message and just tell them I'd like to rejoin. I'm a former power agent, and we'll look you up and we'll get you started. Okay.
Wonderful. I do a broker's open house and neighborhood on a separate day from the public. I have food for the brokers, for the public. If owners allow it, I bake bread or cookies. Do you have any thoughts on that or recommendations?
This is what I think about food at the open house, and I think that the only time I would do food at an open house is if you are doing a party type open house, meaning that buyers come in and they stay and mingle. So you may have 3, 4, 5 buyers in the house walking around, and you have a couple agents, you and maybe a couple others just milling about talking to people. So it's more of a party atmosphere. If it's a high-end listing where you're going to get fewer people showing up because of the price range and it's just a higher end, then I would do it as well. Other than that, I prefer this model where you have people wait outside and there's 2 agents, a greeter and a shower. One couple comes in, the shower gives the tour, asks those questions, discovery questions to find out more about the buyers. And when they leave, the next party comes in while those people are waiting outside. So there's no time for food is my point in that scenario. You don't want people hanging out in the house. You want them to go through and then leave. There's so many benefits to doing this. We're building better rapport, I think, with people outside. We're having them, they seem to fill out the contact information more honestly when you give them the clipboard and filling that out. It also is great advertisement to all those neighbors. Seeing that line of people is another way to generate listing leads. So I prefer this model more.
Are the guides extra to purchase, or is everything included?
Nope. No, everything's included. Everything on this web. Let me show. Hang on a second. Let me show you guys something. I'm going to go to Classroom, and I'm going to show you farming. And this is the well, there's some of the guides. There's the buyer's guide, but this is just the farming tab. Now I want you to see all this. There's some more e-guides, the farming e-guide, the move e-guide, the homeowner, 184 things we do, the parting lot. So there's all the guides. All of this is part of the $47 a month. There is no extra charge. And by the way, what we also did is some power agents work a very high Spanish market. So all you'll see here, there's a Spanish version of everything that you would give to the public. There's an English and a Spanish version. I'm telling you, there's over 500 things here, all customizable, and there is no extra charge. This is for you. These are all the letters, the Dear Neighbor. These are expired letters, FSBO letters. I'm just in one tab, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm only on the L's in this one tab. So you will not find a training program that has the depth and content. It would cost you tens of thousands of dollars to hire your own marketing person to design everything that we're giving to you for only $47. I hope that didn't sound like a real sales push there, but I am so passionate about the value that we give our power agents. I'm very proud of it. And with Julie and my whole entire team, that all the hard work that they do for you. Every morning, my team wakes up and they think, how can we serve our power agents today? And any of the current power agents, tell me if I'm wrong. Write it in the chat there, right there. Tell the non-power agents, what do you think about my team? Forget about me, about Julie and Sarah and Gail and all them.
We love our team.
Yeah, we have a great team, man. All right, next
Monty
question.
asks, signs for open house, do you think it's handmade or professional work better?
The signs.
The signs. Everybody loves the new signs, by the way. Power agents, those are brand new. We just put them in last night. So
yeah. Which signs, Julie? The ones
the open house signs, yes. The ones that like the featured house,
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
you don't have to design those. We design these signs, right?
Yes.
Yeah, we designed them for you already. So what you can do, these are screenshots, so I can't edit these, gang. These the original is a PowerPoint, but yes, you would write this. You see how it has a picture frame and then print it out and then put it in that little plastic easel that you can find on Amazon or something.
Yeah, look for lucite frames on Amazon.
Lucite frames. Okay.
Yes. What is the deadline to sign up for this trial?
Now. Listen, when I end this webinar, that little floating thing on the screen right now, Sarah, put that floating thing back up. That little floating thing is going to go away. So you should click on that now, and it's going to open up a separate page. You can still hear me talking, so don't worry. That you're going to take yourself out of the webinar. It's going to open up a separate thing. The webinar, you'll still hear me. And you should start filling that out now, because when I close this webinar, that goes away, and so does the option to sign up. Next question.
If you do have questions, you can go to that darrylspeaks.com/trial, or you can click on that button and you can ask any questions. Our team is standing by as well.
Okay.
Jeff asked, will the recording be available after this is completed? Yes.
Yes, it'll be available. I said Friday, but Julie's telling me tomorrow. So.
No, Sarah says you'll have it by 2:30. For open houses, is there a best time of the month to do them? Beginning, middle, end, time of the week?
No, in this market, it's Saturday and Sunday is the best. So,
Darryl, how can you get attendees to list their phone numbers if they're hesitant to give it to you? Oh, you have a trick that.
Oh, so the way to do the phone number thing is if you have one of those value pieces that I talked about, like like this, you can tell them, listen, I can actually text you a link for this guide. Like if you didn't print this out, the 38-page buyer's guide. I mean, look at how beautiful this thing is. This is what's on the screen here is not 38 pages. That's just a screenshot of some of the pages. This is the 38 pages. And you tell a buyer, if you didn't print it out, say, listen, if you like this, I can actually email you. I can text you a link to this. It's really incredible. It'll help you. What's your cell number? Even if they filled it out on the form, if you want to make sure you get their cell number, just ask them what their cell phone, you write it on a separate paper. So if there's a reason that they're going to benefit from giving you their number, they'll give you their number. So you've got to give the benefit, and that's the benefit. That's an example of benefit. Next question, Julie.
Lisa says, do you send reminders with links for the weekly webinars? I'm signing up.
Oh yeah. Listen, you get it. We have, okay. So one of the things that we have, I didn't even talk about this, gang, is so we send you training emails. Power agents get training emails 4 or 5 times a week. Now, I'm not including the reminder. Like today's webinar, you get an email reminder. But in addition to that, you get Saturday strategies where we'll take one of our pieces and we email you saying, hey, listen, of everything in the Power Program website, here's an idea. Then we send you one on Tuesday, which is a newsletter of some other articles that we wrote for you. So our emails to you are not junk emails. They're actually training emails that bring you to other either promotional pieces that you can use or a training moment about call-in FSBOs or a dialogue or something like that. So listen, I'm going to tell you, if you haven't signed up, I beg you to please sign up for you, because once you get to know us and see what we do, this is the common response we get from people. They say, I wish I had known about you years ago. That is the common answer we get. So don't waste any time in becoming a power agent. Next question, Julie.
Awesome. Regarding the Power Agent program, do you have a schedule as to what items, classes to do first? As it seems there's so much information, it would be confusing as to where to start.
I will tell you one of the things that we're planning on launching, and every time we launch a new thing, we raise the price. But if you are locked in at this price, then you're locked in forever. So one of the things we plan on launching is actually training modules. Instead of it being a plethora like this, actually a training course. Session 1 with homework, session 2, session 3. So that's something that we're going to be adding. But in the meantime, we're always here for you to ask questions. There's the coaching calls on Monday to ask questions. And there is this new agent section where we say, listen, if you're a new power agent or new to the business, here is some things that you need to have. Dialogue for FSBOs, your business planning. There's a guide, 12 best ideas to generate listings in the next 30 days, 35 social media live video ideas. So if you feel overwhelmed, I say go to the new agent tab in the classroom, and that's a great place to start.
Also, I would suggest if you go to the time and money management, we actually have a monthly calendar and we have a weekly calendar. And that's a great, our power agents tell us they love that. It really helps them stay focused, stay on track. And it gives them an idea every day to get closer to their goals.
Okay, let me teach this. So if you're a power agent, I'm teaching everybody. If you're a power agent, pay attention. And if you're a guest, you're still going to learn something here. So hang on. So this is the calendar for August. So what Julie does every month, which is so much work on her part, this is something I told her not to do because it was so much work. You have to do it. And she just didn't listen to me because she cares about you guys so much. And she loves doing this to help you. She says, you know, of all the stuff we give you, here's just one tip for one day of the month. So if let's say it's August 13th, research expired from 6 months ago and use the old FSBO expired dialogue in the program. So in other words, there's one tip every day. If you just do this, you're going to improve your business. But wait, there's more. In addition to that, what we did is we created this weekly calendar, which has for the next 7 days. Here's some suggestions. This is my favorite, which is what are the top 3 things you're going to do this week? So of all the tasks you have to do, what are those 3 you're going to focus on the next 7 days? And that really gives you focus in your career. So that's the other thing there. So
there is a quick start guide as well. If you go to the dashboard, there's a quick start guide, and there also is our Tuesday training where Gail literally will walk you through the best practices of getting started. So there's tutorials there, but it'd be on Tuesdays, it will be on Mondays coaching calls, Tuesdays training, just so you can get acclimated. But we do have a quick start guide.
Yeah, so the quick start guide is if you're in the dashboard, which is the main part of the site, like that's the front door, so to speak. I've been clicking on Classroom a lot, but there's a way to get to the coaching calls, the CRM, the Power Agent Directory, the closed Facebook group. When you click here, it'll bring you to that automatically. Profile building and the webinar registration, the how-to tutorials that Julie was just talking about. That's where there's a guide to get started as a new Power Agent, like, all right, do this first, do that second, etc., along with some video on how to use the directory and a complete overview of the website, how to log in, how to download items that are in PowerPoint, how to navigate the classroom, how to use the favorite features of the notes. So there's a lot to get you started as a Power Agent.
Thank you. Craig says, we used to be able to use balloons, attract more attention, but because we are at the beach, we can no longer use balloons. Any ideas of what to do with open house signs for a bang?
Yeah, those flags, Craig, that I talked about, those
are from D Signs. I know a lot of people have asked where those, who manufactures that, but D Signs makes those.
Yeah, the feather flags.
Feather flags.
Now, listen, there's a bunch of companies that make these. I actually compared. I used to actually show you all the different prices. D Signs had the tallest. Like some of them went. None of them went 11 feet. They were. I think the highest was 8 feet. D was the only one where I can find 11 feet, and the prices were doable. So, yeah. So that's where you get that.
Mary asked, where do we find the signs again? The new signs. Those are in the Servicing Sellers tab, Mary.
So, Mary, if you go to Classroom, and then you go to, where'd you say, Julie, you put them?
In Servicing Sellers. I love that you called the dashboard the front door. You've never called it that. I like that.
So when you go to Servicing Listings, a lot of what I taught today, there's the listing management checklist. There is the open house checklist. There is the easy move guide, the multiple offers. So a lot of what I showed you today, and there's even more stuff that in here that I didn't teach you, but there's just so much. But the open house sign-in sheet, it says lead sheet. Julie, can we change that to open house sign-in sheet, please?
Sarah, you got that? I think she does.
I did.
Okay,
Yay.
thank you. And open house frequently asked questions sheet. Okay, what was the question though? What was he looking for?
The sign.
The new signs. The signs, open house printable, right? So when you click on this, it's a PowerPoint. It's going to open up a PowerPoint. So I'll show you the customization just using that as an example. Now it's taking a while to open. I'm assuming there's a lot of people.
There's a lot. We put all the signs in one, but so you could just print whichever page you want. Prescott asked, when will we be able to see Darryl in person again while you're downloading that?
I can't wait till I'm back on the road. I'm supposed to speak at the Oklahoma State Convention. Is it Oklahoma? No, Mississippi. Where am I going? Mississippi convention in October, and we're starting to book next year. But anyway, these are the open house signs that we were just talking about. And let's see here, Julie, this over here where it says special house feature, this is where you can customize, okay, new granite tops. And if I wanted to make it bigger and go like this. So this is, and there's so much in the Power Program website that are like this, where you can just really customize like this. I probably would make it more of a black so it stands out more like that. Yeah. And I would take the quotes away. So that's how you can customize. And you know what? This is just this. There's everything in the program. Again, you can customize it if it's something that that needs to be customized. All right.
Mary says, common questions list. I love that idea. Would you also, do you have a script for what you would use with the neighbors? I'm not sure what you mean by script for the neighbors. You're building rapport when the neighbors come through, right? So.
Oh yeah. So the script so first of all, the frequently asked questions, they wouldn't change, right? So if that's what you're asking, you can still give that to the neighbors. So anything that you can give to a buyer at a buyer open house, you can have there at the neighborhood open house. But the script, the difference is when you're showing the house to the neighbor, you're not asking the questions like, how long have you been looking for a house, right? You would ask questions like you would of any seller, like, So how long have you guys lived in the neighborhood? Do you have this model? You have a different model from the builder. Have you made any major improvements? Have you ever thought about moving? If you were going to move, where would you move to? When was the last time you had an updated market analysis on your property? Every homeowner should have that done at least once a year, just like they have a physical checkup done once a year. At least you should. You should do that with your house. Why don't I do this? I don't mind. Why don't I find the time where I can stop by, take a look at your house? You give me the nickel door, and then I'll go back to my office. I'll access our software, which is it's an exclusive software that gives you an incredible overview of the value of your property. I can stop by and tomorrow, or is the next day better?
Nice. How would I refer another agent to the Power program?
Just send them to darrylspeaks.com /trial. So that darrylspeaks.com, and it's Darryl with 2 R's. That's the right way to spell it. And /trial. And make sure when they go to that page, let me just see that page for a second. I'm pasting it in. When they go to that page, it shows what the program is, right? And then there's all the bonuses that I talked about, right? So when they click on the sign up, hey, Sarah. Okay, never mind. Okay. This is we changed the website a little bit. So I'm not going to fill this out, but if I fill it out, the next field, there's a field that says who recommended you. Make sure that they put your email so that way you give credit. Because when you recommend somebody, you have a chance of winning a special coaching session with me that we do every month. So I think I should show that. Next question, Julie, while I do that.
When you do the training modules, will it cost extra for Power agents?
Nope. No, when I do the training, here's how this works. Like one of the things that we're also going to be adding is we're going to take the directory, the Power Agent directory, and make it open to the public. And then we're going to start doing advertising saying, hey, if you're looking for a real estate agent, make sure that they're a Power Agent. Because we own the registered trademark for Power Agent and we define what it is. So we're going to be branding it to the general public. So every time we add something major like that, we raise the price to the program for new Power Agents, but not for existing. That's another reason why you should lock in at the 47. You know, there are some Power Agents, they used to pay less than 47. They're locked in for life. When you cancel, that resets it. So you try not to do that. But where's the VIP Power Agents? Where is that, Julie? Why am I?
Power Agent Purpose.
Power Agent Purpose, right. So I'm going to show you our wall of VIP Power Agents. These are our Power Agents that have earned VIP status, and because they've recommended people, they get a special acknowledgement. They get marketing material to use in their social media. Here is the logo. There's an explanation for why this logo is what it is. There's actually a reason behind it, why we picked this logo, which I'm not going to get into now. It's actually explained on this page. So, but anyway, next question.
Perfect. Do you have a suggestion on how to get the best quality versus expense printouts of the materials so it shows value to the customers?
Okay. So one of the things that you can do, I'm afraid to say what I'm going to say, Julie, you know what I'm going to say. But one of the places you can go is you can go to Vistaprint. Vistaprint does good quality stuff. So you can do that. Or you can wait, because we are actually going to be launching, and we're probably in the next few weeks, and we may raise the price when we do this. And that is a print on demand, meaning that every one of our items in the classroom, you'll be able to actually print and deliver. So let's say that there's a flyer like this one, the 6 reasons why your house didn't sell. I'm waiting for it to load here. So I just went too fast. So if we have an item here that, what's going on, Julie? It just locked up. Hang on. Anyway, one of the things we're doing, gang, is we're adding a print on demand feature where you can actually, instead of you printing it out like these 26 reasons, you should not sell your home. If I click on this, it'll actually go to a page where you can actually edit it online and then actually have it printed by express copy. And they'll actually mail it out to FSBOs for you. So that's something that we're going to be launching using the express copy platform. And there's a discounted price for power agents, but it's using our power agent material. So anyway, that's our next thing that we're launching in the next 30 days, hopefully.
Awesome. William asked, how do you send the buyers and seller guide as a link? I only see it as a printout.
Yeah, what you would have to do, William, first of all, I'm not going to get into teaching tech support right now. You can ask Sarah that, but the real short answer is what you would do is you would take the file of the guide and you'd have to upload it somewhere on a server. So it would be your website. It could be Amazon has a server. Now, there is the QR code thing, but wait, there is a way to do that. QR code generator. So this QR code generator, what you can also do with these guys is you can upload your file to them and do it that way as well. So there's another way to do it using the QR code generator. Drop your file here. So what you would do is drop a file into here, and so if I upload the file as a PDF, it'll open up my computer, and then I can, if let's say, well, this is my music. So anyway.
You can also, Barbara asked if you can have it linked directly from your Power Agent site. That's the best thing, Barbara, is to have it as a download from your site, so you can send people to a page on your site. Now you've got a lead capture form and all of that. So yes, you absolutely can do that.
Yes. Okay.
Darryl, how do you feel about having an open house the same week the listing is entered into the MLS?
Yeah, I think that's the best time to do it. Here is the order and how you can do it. In this hot sellers market, you really don't need a broker's open house, especially like by itself. Now, if you're in a city where it isn't hot, because some areas are starting to cool, then let's do it that way. The first thing you should do is a broker's open house. Second is a neighborhood open house. Third is public open houses several times. And you should do all those literally in the first 7 to 14 days of every new listing.
Lisa wants to know where you're originally from. I think we can tell.
Yeah, I'm from North Carolina. Can't you tell from my accent?
That's funny. Should the directional sign, should we have this professionally done, like the feather flags, or should we make them ourselves?
Yeah, so I suggest, I'm going to tell you what we did in the company that I managed. We had them professionally made. And so this is that sign. We took this, you see this yellow poster board? We gave it to a printer, and then the printer put on there pre-printed the company logo and open house, and then in between the phone number to our company, right? So there was the company logo, the company phone number, open house, and then the bottom here, this bottom here was the address that we stapled on, and in the middle there was the fluorescent arrow. So this is a version of it, but what's missing here is the company information. And also this open house would have been pre-printed on it. So it's better to have the pre-printed, and then all you would add is the address and the fluorescent arrow, because you'd have to turn the arrow based on how you're bringing people in.
Awesome. Lisa says, can we start printing things now without the service? Absolutely.
Oh, yeah, Lisa, this print on demand is something we're just making it easier for power agents to do it from the website. But what you can do, Lisa, is, hang on, where's the website? Is any of the stuff that we have for you guys like this, you can just download it and print it. Download and print it. I'm trying to find some of the marketing materials. Any of this stuff here, you can just download and print it on your local color printer. Yep. Or what you could do is download the file, because when I click on it, it downloads the file, right? So let me give you an example. Let me see if I still have something here. That was a file.
I don't think you downloaded any.
I downloaded one file. So if I click on this, is that right? Is this the one? Yeah. See, can you see it downloading? So I opened up PowerPoint. So I have this now on my computer. So what I could do is I can now edit this. Now watch this. This is really powerful. So list your home 4 reasons during the fall. If let's say you don't like the number 2 that we wrote, buyers are serious, watch what happens. Bing, I just deleted it. Write your own. So you can customize everything along with putting your contact information, your photo. If let's say you want to put your photo here and there's not room, all right, then, delete number 4, move it around, bada bing, boop, boop, bop, bop, get rid of this. So whoops, sorry. And let me just fix that. And put your photo, make room for your photo. Now, I'll do file, save as. I'm going to save it to my local computer, and now I own it on my computer, and then I can print it on Vistaprint or my color printer, etc. Awesome, right? Yes.
Yes, we do suggest you make a file on your computer that you put all your Power Agent tools in, and that makes it easier for you to find them, right? So yes. Mary said, you've rattled everything off so fast. How can I relearn it? So that's the beauty of webinar on demand, right? Mary, is these are, if you go to the classroom, you'll see webinars on demand. That's where you'll see the slides. And that is where you can watch the videos at any time. What's nice about that is you can then stop it and start it and take notes. And, I just actually spoke with a Power Agent yesterday where English is her second language. So that's been perfect for her, because we are going so fast. It is a fire hose on these calls, right? So that's the best way for her to learn, is that she stopped, she started, she took her time with it. So she loves to watch them the next day.
Now let me show you the guest speakers we have here. We did one on the CRM over here. We did one with a mortgage lender that was awesome. That gave so much great stuff. Catherine is one of our Power Agents. She is the #1 agent in the whole state of Florida for Keller Williams. Curbio is an incredible software. We talked about that. How to use Canva. We did Canva training. How to use PowerPoint. How to use Box Brownie. How to use Zoom. So that's just some of the guest trainers that we've had. But we've been doing this weekly webinar now for the past year and a half. So however many weeks there are in a year and a half, that's how much training is here for you guys. In addition, I might as well show this as well while we're here. Let me just give you a tour really quick, because I know we've answered all the questions. So in the classroom, there's stuff for buyers. There's the coaching calls we talked about, the CRM. These are my top picks of things that I like. This favorite section, here's how this works. This is really powerful, because somebody said it's a little overwhelming. If let's say, boy, I really love the buyer's guide, and the buyer's guide is here, and you'll see there's a little star. That means I favored that. Now, there's also a social media ad that we created. So you can post online about, hey, download this free guide to buy real estate. And then there's a postcard mailing if you wanted to do that. And so I favored all those, right? So now if I go to my favorites and click there, everything that I tagged as a favorite of mine is here. And you'll notice the guides that I just did, buyer's guide, the social media is right there. So instead of getting overwhelmed with the 600 things, you can tag it and it saves it in that special folder. Let's see what else. When you click on the Facebook logo, it'll bring you to the Power Agent exclusive Facebook page where this is how we welcome new Power Agents with a little yay, hello. But anyway, so let me continue giving you this tour. Greeting cards, we contracted with AM Cards. I'm not going to click on that because that'll log you in. And those are high quality cards that you can customize and send out to past clients or to some FISBOs. You can just send out one card. You can send out brownies. That's the greeting cards tag. And we've got negotiating offers, the new agent, notes. You can actually take notes in the training platform, and it saves it for your objection handling, the logo, the Power Agent website training, prospecting, RedX, refer a friend. You should click on that. Suggestions. Oh, yeah. If you have things that we don't have that you want, just tell us, and we'll put it in the file to actually create it for you. vendors that we recommend that we have great relationships with and negotiated special power agent pricing. Some vendors we didn't negotiate power agent pricing, but we recommend them like they're a good tool to use. So we have a tremendous amount of those folks as well.
We actually go back to tech tools and training real quick because we do have a question about landing pages, and we did do a training on that. And that's also where you'll find the coupons for like Box Brownie to get Red X for the first 30 days free. Like all of our coupons are in tech tools and training, but that's where we do have a training session on how to set up a landing page.
So yeah, so there's the tech tools and training. There's which one should I show them, Julie, that you were just saying?
The landing page. So
okay, so let me go to that. Must have tech tools landing page. Here it is. Seller's Guide landing page tutorial. So if let's say you love those guides that we created right for you, and there's ads on how to generate leads from those guides, when you advertise, hey, if you're a homeowner and you want to know how to sell your house in today's market, here's a 43-page guide to help you. Click here. So when they click here, it brings them to a landing page. It looks like a website, but they fill in their information, right? So how do you do that? How do you create a landing page? How do you upload that file? How do you do that whole thing? So we created a training program for you on that. And all the support material is there as well. So Lead Pages is the landing page company we recommend, and we show you how to use that. So when you go to, I'll give you, for instance, when you go to poweragentwebinar.com, this is a landing page using Lead Pages, right? So this looks like a website, right? But this is actually Lead Pages. And we designed this, and it's really easy to use Lead Pages. And so we show you how to create something like this for the seller's guide. And when we say, save my seat now, fill this out, it would actually go into your CRM. So anyway, we show you how to do this whole thing. Right?
Darryl, did you have the name of the company that made that USB in the?
No, here's how I found that. I don't have the name for that. If you, here, it says customize. This is what I did, customize jump drives. And then I found a whole bunch of companies. I don't know which one I clicked on. Maybe I did that. Hang on, because it would show me if I custom, any one of these companies will do it. So I don't know if this was the one. Nope, that's not the one. But there's so many companies out there, so there's no wrong company. Yeah, there's another one. And you can search for keys and stuff, right?
Right. You can search customized jump drives of real estate. Those are probably going to pop up. Simone says, so glad I signed up for the Power Agent program today. There's so much valuable information and resources. Thank you. Well, you're welcome.
You're welcome. Yeah, you're going to love it. Listen, if you're a new Power Agent, you're going to be. Did any of our current Power Agents comment about what they like about the program for the guests?
They did, but we'd love for them to do it again. That was awesome.
Yeah, one more time. Listen, if you're a Power Agent, just type something really quick there. Just tell the Power Agents, should they sign up? The guests, should they sign up? Has it been valuable for you? Would you recommend it? So if you wouldn't mind doing that, make a difference in another. If the Power Agent program has made a difference with you in any way, can you make a difference with somebody else by telling them that, yes, they should, and it was great, and da-da-da-da. While we're waiting to see if any other Power Agents done that, I have a feeling a lot of Power Agents signed off at this point, Julie, because this is a marathon webinar, like 2 hours, right? So, but if you guys don't have any other questions or comments, what we're going to do is we're going to end this training now. Thank you, Roseanne, for your comment. I see people starting to write it now. You can also get a USB drives from lenders or title companies. Yeah, Renee, you can have them do, or you can have them pay for it and do a share with that as well. You can put an ad on the recording as part of the jump drive for them and to underwrite it. Yeah. So you're welcome, Pamela. Sorry, Pam. You're welcome so much. If you are Tia, I love these comments coming in now. Tia, only 3 days in, and I love all the resources and the webinars. Thank you so much, Tia. We appreciate you. So if you are a guest, please sign up right now. See that little Julie, Sarah, one more time, pop up the thing. if you're a guest, that pop-up button that Sarah is going to flash one more time, it's going to go away. So we're going to end the webinar now. So please, can you post those, Julie?
I can. Can you put it back on what they get, please?
Oh, sure. Okay. So I see all the power agents are commenting. I appreciate that. This is what you guys are getting. So do me a favor, click on that now, because again, as I was going to say, when I sign off, that floating bar is going to go away. So click on it, and you're going to get an email. Everything that's on the screen, you're going to get it within 5 minutes of signing up, and it'll tell you how to download those things. And then you'll also get by tomorrow a link with this webinar training, so you can watch it again. You can download the forms and all that stuff. So anyway, I know this was a lot. Catherine, my head is spinning with all the valuable information. Thanks, Catherine. Catherine, I want to say this to you and everybody else, a little coaching tip here. I know I gave you a tremendous amount, and I don't expect you to do everything in the next open house. This is part of what I do. If you ask me for $5, I'm going to give you 10. I'm going to always give you more than you ever would expect. But that's because I want you to choose, okay? I do not give you all of this to do all of this. I want you to pick and say, you know what, I like this, I'm not crazy about that, I'm not doing that. So do a little bit each open house and keep improving it, okay? So don't get overwhelmed. Jean said, I've been a power agent for over 8 months, and I've yet to see everything in the library. This is the best ever training and tools. I've been in the real estate business for over 30 years. Thank you, Jean. We purposely give you so much so that way you can pick and choose what works for you. This is my second week, Iona, and I already learned a lot. Thank you very much, Darryl. Great team. Iona, thank you so much. I'm going to tell you, when you guys write comments like that, it makes our hearts smile, because we really do. The reason why my team creates constantly, I keep telling them, listen, the power agents have enough. But the reason why we keep doing that is because we love doing this for you. That's the bottom line. We don't have to add anything more because we know there's so much great value for our students, but we just do it out of love. So
and we change with the time. As the market changes, we make sure that we're keeping up with that it's always current, that you have what you need based on what's happening. Like, you know, when things got crazy and people needed tech, that's where we taught tech. You know, I mean, now people need listings, and listings are in short supply. So our goal.
Here's the other thing, Julie. I mean, the next thing that people are concerned about is what's going to happen with this moratorium being lifted. Are we going to see an increase in foreclosures? Because now banks can actually do that. The tenants, for people who haven't been paying and they've been having financial. So there's a concern. Is there going to be a surge of short sales or whatever? And when that occurs, if that should occur, my team will shift and we'll create content for that. Like there was one time there was a bad hurricane season, like bing, bing, bing. We got hit with a couple of them. So our company, we created hurricane support material for buyers and sellers. It's still in the site for tragedies and what an agent can do for the community. So yeah, we're always trying to give you stuff that's most urgently important right now. So okay,
Absolutely.
That's it. We're gonna let you guys go. Thanks for staying as long as you did. Boy, my goodness, you guys stayed on for so long. I really appreciate you guys so much. So if you need anything, please reach out to us. The chat function is there. Become a power agent, become part of the family. Look forward to helping you get your business to the next level and having you fall in love with us. All right, gang. Thank you. Stay safe. Stay focused. Don't forget to keep smiling. One last thing is we don't just help people buy and sell real estate. What we do is we help them get to their next level in life. So what you do is actually change people's lives. And the money you make is only a gauge as to how many lives you've touched, how many families you've helped. So go out there, help a lot of families, and the money will follow. God bless you. Thank you, Julie. Thank you, Sarah, my whole entire team. I'll see you on the other side. Bye-bye.